Hello everyone, and welcome back.
Hi, welcome back to the field stream. We only cry here.
There's no other feelings.
There are no
There are no other feelings.
Shush.
So yes,
Here's now.
whilst the others are gone, Arya, you have a private moment.
I had to steal myself. So I guess I get my panpipes out.
Okay.
And play a little song. Oh, also, this is my wolf.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say it was there was gonna be a moment, but yeah, no, you produce your panpipes, and like as you do so, sort of you hesitate for a moment, and Lyra sort of nuzzles into your side.
Oh,
No.
thanks, my dude. Does Alwyn notice this? Lyra?
Yeah, probably. Probably as that happens, he looks down and sort of sees Lyra and sort of like, it's good to see you do not.
How do you begin to explain this situation?
He says, "It's good to see you have at least found one true traveling companion."
Wow!
Wow!
Okay, that was just his assertion. I'm gonna defend that.
Well, he doesn't know that you are like associated with any of the others, because literally they were just there whilst you had a conversation. He literally has no idea who any of you are.
Right. No, I know.
He's not saying it to be rude. He's saying it because he doesn't know otherwise.
I didn't think it was rude.
Yeah.
Others
Insulted.
did.
Yeah, we're insulted.
Look, you didn't give me a
We don't
chance to
know.
defend you guys, so hold your horses, bros.
It's your fault too.
I'm gonna say yes. This is Lyra. She and I are bonded. I found her shortly after I met the others that you saw, and she has become my steadfast companion ever since.
He nods
But-
and sort of says, I see.
The others as well. They've been with me for a long time now, and I don't think I would have gotten here without them. I don't think that I would have been able to even think about defeating the Chimera without them.
He looks at you sort of with a very serious face and says, well, I guess I owe them a debt. You know, I thought 1,000 times what would happen if I ever saw you again. And for the longest time, I've been thinking that I was almost glad that I didn't. I wasn't sure I could face you. But now that you're here, I was wrong.
Silently dying in the background. I'm glad that I could see you again before I finally defeat the thing that killed you.
He nods and says, well, if you are successful, then there is every chance that we will see each other again. May take 1,000 years, but maybe we will be united.
That's it. Luka's died, everybody.
Yep, that's
That was
it.
Luka falling off her desk. Out of the chair. She's dead. You'll have to come back next week.
I hope that if I am successful, that does come true.
I'm sure it will.
I honestly don't know what I'll do after all of this. Killing this thing has been my entire goal. All my life.
He places his hands on your shoulders and says, "Will you make me a promise?
Of course.
When you're done with all this, live your life. Don't waste it."
I will try. For you.
He smiles and sort of gestures over to the small fire that he must have been sat at before he noticed you, and sort of invites you to sit.
Well, I can't say no.
No, you can't.
Oh, this is really easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But really, would you?
Yeah.
No, I would never say no, but
Yeah. You sit by the small fire, and it's strange. The fire burns, but it doesn't give off nearly as much light and heat as you would expect.
mm-hmm.
Its very energy seems suppressed by the aura of this place. Yeah, and he turns to you and says, "I'd love to hear you play, at least until your friends return."
Of course. Hopefully, hopefully I've gotten better as the years have gone by.
Cool.
This was always your instrument.
He smiles and says, "It looks better in your hands."
Then I guess I get it out and start playing.
Cool. Are you doing something you're just capable of, or are you trying to sort of show off with it?
Play an old song.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would probably play a song that he played that I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Give me a performance check. You can't really fail this because it's something you already know how to do. But I just okay.
Well,
Well,
As you play,
start crying.
yeah, that's basically what happens.
oh god.
Yeah, you are filled with all of these memories, being so close to him again, remembering him teaching you to play. That, like, not even halfway through the song, you're struggling to sort of not cry, and he puts an arm around you, and that is sort of the last straw, and you can't play anymore, and you just sob. He just... Again, he can't really hold you, but he tries the best he can. A few moments pass, and your companions return, although you are effectively oblivious to the fact.
Mm-hmm.
As the rest of you approach, you notice sort of Eleron and Simone have like sort of they've torn themselves away from where they were standing and sort of are making their way towards you. And yes, Alwyn notices all of you approaching and gestures for you all to sit down whilst he sort of holds Arya's head. You go sit down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You all become seated around the fire. You all notice again that the fire doesn't give off nearly as much light and heat as you would expect. And he says, "So, you are Arya's companions, then?"
He just
Indeed.
sort of nods.
Yeah.
I owe you a great deal for helping her. Hopefully the information I give you will be enough to repay some of that debt.
There is no debt. But we would thank them. We would. Your information will certainly be helpful.
He nods and says, "I will tell you what I know. I'm Alwyn, by the way."
So I'm just gonna say, Vondal.
He looks to the rest of you.
My name is Fee.
I'm Kelariis.
The rest of the party introduce themselves. You sort of recover from your moment if you want to rejoin us.
Yeah. Alright. So, what can you tell us? How do we find these people?
He begins to sort of like clear out a space in the ash and dust by the fire, and begins to sort of draw a couple of key landmarks. Those of you who aren't rangers, like he seems to just draw a couple of symbols to represent things like trees and a mountain and is it like a river or a valley? But to the rangers, he uses sort of a format that is easily identifiable, and it is effectively as good as any map. And he basically says, "We are here on the border of the forest that is known here as the Shadewood. It is essentially some twisted mockery of the great forests of the elves. Almost everything that grows here is dead." But he indicates another piece of the map that he's drawn, and he basically says, "The easiest way to get to the mountain where our mutual acquaintance has begun to build his army, the fastest way to get there is through a place called the Winding Stair. It is essentially a set of almost natural stairs that wind up the course of the hillside towards the mountain, and it is essentially the only way through the marsh that takes up a large portion of the center of the forest. To get there safely is, well, not the easiest task. We lost many here when we travelled, even though we are obviously not as durable as yourselves. I still would not advise taking any other route." And he indicates a small passageway that, to the rangers, is like it's a mountain, like a mountain pass along the side of a ravine. And he basically says, "This is Molnar Pass. There is an old fortress here, inhabited by, well, I presume at some point it was their king, their leader. He still maintains a small force, and I am unsure whether or not he would allow you to pass without perhaps a tribute or something. We gave him what we could, anything that we had to hand, belongings, clothing, stories. He will not be as forgiving of the living, that is for sure. Nobody here is. He sort of circles his drawing to sort of indicate encompassing the whole thing. He says, "This journey, it is treacherous and it will take days. I'm afraid I cannot advise you any further of the threats. It has been a while since I travelled these paths, but I have every faith that Arya here can guide you. And I wish you all the luck." There may be some others here who can perhaps tell you a little more. Some of them are more willing to share their story than others, but you are welcome to stay as long as you like. We will do what we can to conceal you, much as the way we have concealed ourselves. Once you leave, I do not know how well protected you will be from outside eyes.
The information you've given us is already extremely helpful. Hopefully it'll aid our journey to go forth.
He just nods.
And best of luck to you and the rest of the souls with you.
He bows his head and says, "Well, if you succeed, we will no longer need luck."
We'll make sure every soul gets to move on.
He's taken aback by the conviction with which you say that, but something seems to sort of. He almost seems like he doubts it for a moment, and then stops, and then he turns to you and he says, "Had you said that to me any other day before this, I would not have believed you. But today of all days, perhaps there is some hope."
I guess Vi is sort of going to turn to sort of, well, everyone who's sitting here. She sort of goes, "We knew that coming to this place was going to be hard, and we knew that whatever we face would be difficult to overcome. But now is the moment to not lose hope, not lose strength.
The companions that are gathered around you seem to They nod in agreement amongst themselves, and out of all of them, Lysatus seems to take this to heart most. And she sort of stands, brushes herself down, and says, "Yes. It is our efforts now, more than anything, that matter."
That sort of thing. I think Vondal's just going to smile at that and just and like say to V, like, "Spoken as a true leader."
V doesn't really like. I don't know. She appreciates it, but she doesn't really like smile about it. Like she's kind of. I don't know. She's being like pretty serious.
Resolute.
Yeah.
But I think he's just going to add to it by going, "After all, there is always hope. You just have to know where to look for it."
Alwyn sort of turns his attention to you and says, "That may well be true, but be careful of this place. As you can see from those around you, this place drains hope. Drains you and drains you until, well, until there is nothing left. Many of the people here have nothing left. I would not want you to suffer the same fate."
Vondal's just saying, "We have not gotten this far by being completely reckless. We know when to be careful."
Zale, Lysatus, Eleran, and Simone sort of make to stand and leave, but if any of you want to sort of stay and continue to have a conversation, you can.
I mean, when we actually leave for like ever, I'm gonna say goodbye to him. But
Yeah, well, you like you said, you don't have to leave now. You can rest here for as long as you want. But they are your other companions are standing up and sort of consulting amongst themselves.
V is probably gonna join them.
Okay.
I think Vondal's going to look at Arya and just sort of ask, "Are you okay?"
Hell no.
fuck no.
Kelariis is also giving her a concerned look, like, no.
I will be once that thing is dead.
Much as I'd prefer if you were okay now, that is still the best I can hope for, I assume.
We'll help you make sure that that's the case,
Thank you.
of course.
You are fortunate to have such resolute companions.
Yes. You're right. I am.
And we are fortunate to have gained such ones as ourselves. We had best be off though. After all, the sooner we leave, the sooner that thing is dead.
Alwyn nods and says, "Take as long as you need. We have certain measures of protection here that may benefit you. You will not find outside of here. If you need to rest, now would be the safest time to do it."
Guys, I think we need to have a rest.
That would be a very
Just,
good idea.
just hinting ever so slightly, because I'm aware that a lot of you have burned a lot of spell slots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we had the battle and we haven't rested since then.
Yes.
Including my only 4th level spell slot.
Yeah.
Considering Alwyn has said twice now, rest.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna gonna lie, I was raring to go, so if you hadn't said that, I would have been like, let's fucking go, dudes.
Well, you can very much rest outside, but Alwyn is telling you there is protection here in place if you want to make use of it.
We should probably make use of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Arya is quite ready to sort of depart from the person she's only just found again.
Yeah.
So, V, as you stand up as you stand up and walk away with the others, whilst Kelariis, Vondal, and Arya are still talking to Alwyn, somebody sort of takes the group aside and says, "So, who exactly is this Alwyn?"
Who fucking knows?
Well, I don't really know more than they do, so I kind of assume that he's an old friend of Arya's. Probably met the same fate as the others we've talked to here. And trapped here.
Somebody just sort of raises an eyebrow at you and says, "Just an old friend?"
Probably more than that.
Somebody sort of like looks back towards them and says to you in a sort of a hushed tone, "I've only ever met one man in my life who looks at me the same way he looks at her."
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that too.
Lysatus nods and says, "I think you are both correct. Now, perhaps it is best if she did not know." I think were she to find out the truth, make the events only harder.
I don't know if Arya doesn't know.
Lysatus gives you a look that it's sort of, it's a motherly look.
Clearly, it's just a natural instinct to mother V.
Well, I mean, Lysatus is an actual mom.
Is a mother, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But she says, "I do not think so. It is hard enough to live with a loved one that you have lost. Worse to learn."
Damn it, she would know.
She would know.
Yeah, she would fucking know.
She definitely would.
Oh boy.
And worse to learn it after the fact. Simone sort of like looks and says, "I for one would not want that burden."
I just hate seeing all of these lost souls here. Feels like they should be someplace else.
Lysatus nods. That they should. This is not the natural order of things. Goes against every fibre of my being.
Zale is just sort of standing there like, I guess.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, literally it's only the girls that are part of this conversation.
Okay.
So.
Zale's not in on the girl talk.
No. Zale and Ilaran are deep in discussion of something else. Well, actually, Zale is probably giving something to Ilaran.
What?
Okay.
It's kind of odd.
Lecture. Wahaha.
Well, you can give me a perception check.
Can I?
Yeah. Well, you're the person who is closest to this conversation. Or closest to this exchange.
And I can read lips.
Yes. You don't catch what they're saying, but you basically see pardon me. You see Zale hand a circlet to actually no, you probably do hear the end of the conversation. He hands a circlet to Ilran and says, it's fairly easy once you're attuned to it, and it should help you out. He sort of nods and says, thank you.
All the more reasons to rest, I suppose.
Yep.
Well, it only requires a short rest for him to attune to it, but...
Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, a short rest doesn't do shit, so...
No.
Next time, we need a party where short rest actually does something.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
We need Grim back.
Grim.
But yes.
I don't think we want to meet Grim here.
No.
Not under these circumstances.
That would
Very
be
bad.
That'd be absolutely horrible.
That'd kill all of us. At once.
Yeah, I think Arya would just like... That would be it.
Yeah.
She'd nope out to another plane of existence.
Back to the Feywild.
Yeah.
By
Right.
sheer willpower, her tears will open up a gateway to the Feywild and she will leave. She'll go and live a normal life with her normal-ass parents.
Anyway.
So, you want to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a rest.
Rest.
Ew.
Heyo.
So, what camping supplies do you guys have?
Hold on. I'm refreshing my spell slots. Give me a moment.
Yeah, 'cause we don't actually have a tent, do we? We basically just have
No.
bedrolls.
I think I have a blanket.
Oh yeah, because
shit,
I had a
okay.
blanket and you had a bedroll. but
And I
we
gave
swapped
you the
at, like,
bedroll.
the start, yeah. So we've got 3 bedrolls and a
Hang on.
blanket. And of course the ability to make a fire.
Right?
That's all our camps has ever been. Just us sleeping on the floor next to a fire. All
Yes.
30
Oh,
feet
no,
apart.
no, wait.
We slept in a
have-
tree once.
We have
We did
tents
sleep in a tree
after
once.
the horses, but I don't know if we're carrying them with us now.
We didn't take the horses to...
No,
No, I
the
know. But,
horse-
like,
Oh.
we had tents at that point.
Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't think I got a tent though. I think it was just Grim and Vondal and Kelariis.
Hmm.
I think you guys got a tent.
Well, they are 2-man tents, so
Yes, but Kelariis had one to her own because she's so fucking large.
yes.
No, I thought Kelariis had one to her own because Shard.
Also fair. But I don't know, I don't have a tent in my inventory.
I don't either.
Well,
I
took the tent.
no, he didn't. Well, if it was in his inventory, it should now be in yours. So yes, between you, you have 2 tents, which is enough for the 4 of you. Ilran, from his supplies, produces a tent.
You know who he's sharing with?
No,
Hey!
ew.
guys.
No, he has to. He
Well,
has to get the bonus.
He is, but and
I know he is, but it's just like, get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm not.
I will keep my mind in the gutter as long as I want. You can't fucking stop me.
That's fair.
Look,
It's my mind. I'll do what I want with it.
Look,
Look.
we have to make jokes about all of this terrible shit somehow,
non-sexual
okay?
sleeping together is the best trope. Okay.
It's true.
Accurate,
It is.
though.
But like, I have to make
Right.
these jokes to make up for the fact that sometimes you guys make the jokes and I don't get them.
in the meantime, from his backpack, Zale produces a scroll.
Oh my god, is he gonna make his own huts?
Shit.
Liam's
Yeah,
tiny hut?
No way.
he spends 1 minute casting a spell from this scroll and summons a 10-foot radius immobile dome of force, or
okay.
more commonly known as Liamon's tiny hut,
Yes! The best
Oh.
spell.
Oh my god.
The best third level spell.
which he and Lysatus set up their own sleeping areas in.
I am very sad that he doesn't have that as a signature spell.
The point is, well, the problem is he can only cast it once because it's a
Yeah, I
scroll.
know.
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, good night, all. I'll be probably wait. Who's sharing a tent with Arya?
Well, that's assuming Arya actually wants to rest in a tent and not meditate outside with her elven companion.
Yeah, that's like.
Right?
That's what I was planning on doing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who's sleeping in our tents then?
Yeah, how's our sleeping arrangement?
It's not that important anymore since we don't
No.
have the shards, but still.
No.
For
Yeah, roleplay
comfort's
pieces.
sake, it would more likely be Vondal and V in one and Kelariis in the other.
Good point.
Oh.
Too large.
Because it is hard to fit a 6-foot dragonborn in a tent,
Mm-hmm.
along with somebody else.
Look, it's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
But you would have more space if you did it the other way.
So I may be shorter, but I'm a lot wider.
Yes. But yes, you take your rests. Arya, you sort of snuggle up with Lyra, sitting opposite Alwyn in the fire, just like looking at each other over the fire. And you meditate. Although, from what you can tell from while you're meditating, Alwyn doesn't actually meditate.
Yeah, I kinda
He
think
does the meditation sort of thing, like to sort of meditate with you for a short period, and then he just sort of is like sitting there, and then he just sort of does a couple of things because he's a ghost and he doesn't actually need to sleep.
So wait, I don't get a bonus if I sleep in his arms? That's sad.
Oh.
Well, you're gonna have to have a conversation with him before that happens.
Yeah.
Because you don't count
'Cause-
as lovers, I don't think.
No.
That's sad.
You've got to ask him to give you a cuddle.
Dude, I fucking love cuddles, okay? Well, Arya doesn't, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There needs to be more roleplay before you can claim that bonus.
Oh man. Sad.
Are you considering it, Luka?
I am
Yeah.
considering it.
You are still just friends with benefits.
What?
No, they were just friends.
We're just friends.
Okay.
Friends with benefits. Where
I
the
was just
fuck
gonna say
did
the
you get
benefits
that?
of hugs and cuddling, but okay.
Oh.
No.
My mind wasn't that far in the gutter.
They
it's
they
fine.
they never cuddled.
Sad. Sad
Dude.
face. Remember, because I was like, yeah, I've never had someone who's in love with me that I knew of when we met that elf in the
Oh
Yes.
no!
Oh boy.
no.
But when Elwyn said, "When this is over, live your life," did he mean you have my blessing to now go be together with that lesbian elf?
Do it!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Just do it!
Just do it!
Do it.
Yes,
Just
you
do
can.
her.
It's
John, no!
it was his way of saying forget about me but don't forget about me. It was sort of go on, move on. So interpret that how you will. But yes, if you want to have that roleplay, that is a roleplay that you can have. Otherwise you cannot claim the benefit,
I'm
no.
so tempted of having that roleplay.
Do it.
In the meantime,
Technically, you do have a 4-hour gap between you waking up and everybody else waking
yes.
That is true.
up. That's plenty of roleplay time.
Whilst you are all doing this, can everybody please make me a despair check? Because you have to make a despair check once per long
Oh,
rest.
right. Well, God, I hope I don't get another fucking despair. Oh, fuck my life!
Rest in pieces.
Okay.
Just a small fuck.
Kelariis and V gain 1 despair.
Damn it!
Oh, God.
I was hoping it would be enough.
Right.
Right.
And now
Kelariis,
he's gonna
does
fuck
that
me up
that
the ass.
not only puts you on 1 despair? Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I
yeah,
lost
because you've
one
refreshed
earlier.
1. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
God damn it, V was all like resolute. She was like,
Okay.
guys, let's not give up hope. And now she's like, fuck!
Yeah, I'm still fine. I'm still maintaining that deadpan seriousness I've had so far. I'm fine.
Well, yeah. V, you just find yourself kept awake by just the wholly unnatural nature of everything that you've seen, and it makes you wonder if anything that you've done up to this point has mattered.
Aw.
Jesus.
Sad face.
Yeah. Kelariis, you have a similar sort of experience.
Fun.
V's also thinking about Bella. It's like, we failed. We failed to save her. Now she's mad.
She was always a bitch, but we still failed to save her.
She was
Right.
always mad.
Even
You
if
can't
people
say
are
we
a
failed to save
bitch,
itself and now she's mad. She was always mad.
look,
She's just still
even-
mad.
even if Mela was a bitch, she still didn't deserve to die and then have her soul trapped in purgatory.
Yes.
True.
Especially because she died for a good cause.
Indeed.
She died doing what was right.
Died a good death.
you died a great death.
Congrats on your death.
Death was on
what happens
fire.
when you that's what happens when you reach Valhalla. You die in battle,
Yeah.
and the guy just gives you a big hug and goes, "Congratulations on your death, my friend! 'Twas a glorious sight to behold."
I'm glad that everybody missed the comment that I made.
Oh, what did you say?
I said it was such a good death, it was almost on fire.
Wow.
You know what, Rob? You can take your shitty ass puns and get out.
Right.
But a fire extinguisher is not required.
But yes, so Arya, you gain a despair as whilst you try to meditate, you sit there contemplating every turning point in your life and wondering what if.
Mm,
And that
Good.
leads you down some dark roads.
yeah, I imagine it would.
Would you care to explore any of those? And perhaps a roleplay
Yes.
dialogue in an attempt to gain
yes,
a bonus.
I would. I love how this is the attempt to gain the bonus.
I can't
I
believe
really
it.
hope in this conversation we can be like, "You've now gained the bonus," so that I can just go.
Plus one lover who is now dead.
Quest completed.
Hey. Anyway,
Reward times 1 lover.
times one lover. God.
Plus 10 feelings.
Yeah.
Plus 20 feelings more.
Shall we
Honestly, though.
give Luka a chance?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to start this conversation.
As you sort of like your meditation is sort of interrupted by these thoughts again for another time. You open your eyes a crack and you see that he is just at this point he's not even sitting there with his eyes closed and legs crossed anymore. He's just sort of sat on the ground and he's watching you.
Right. Okay. I guess I get up and walk over and sit next to him. Because proximity is probably needed.
As you stand up, Lyra sort of raises her head and cocks her head slightly, when you get up unexpectedly and dogs are like, "Where are you going?"
Does Lyra not have to make the spare check? Is Lyra just like, fuck it, I'm a dog, I don't care?
Honestly.
Lyra is above such otherworldly worries due to her divine nature.
Yeah, technically Lyra is immune to despair.
Damn.
Huh.
She is a demigod.
That's true.
That's just a way of being her. You know? You're welcome.
Because technically, even if she were to die here, Lyra would turn back to San and go back to Arborea. Like her spirit is not as easily broken as the rest of you.
Because she's like divine.
Yeah. She is affected by the atmosphere, but just not in the same way as you guys, because like her bond is to Arya, and as long as Arya is alive, like her bond means more than anything else. Because she is for all intents and purposes, except in certain very, very extreme circumstances, immortal. So her bond is more important than any other feelings that she has. So theoretically, while she is affected by despair, she's just sort of like, well, got my bond, doesn't really matter.
Got bond.
Yeah.
James Bond.
Because theoretically, if Arya were to die, Lyra would just like San would instantly gain like 10 levels of despair because reasons. But
Don't die.
Doesn't need to be on the Shadowfell to get 10 levels of despair for the bond being broken.
Anyway. So I get up and sit next to Alwyn.
Yeah. Lyra sort of watches you do this and just sort of is like tempted to follow you, but then seeing like as you sort of like sit next to him, she's just like, maybe not.
What, she doesn't want to get in on this?
More like she can sense that you want to have a private conversation and it's a matter of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Because you and she can sense each other's emotions passively.
Right.
Unless you want her to come, in which case she will come.
Nah, that's good. It's fine. I was just being facetious.
Yeah.
Anyway. To get out my... I don't know. Still don't know how this conversation's exactly good. So I sit down. And I guess I say... I have to say I was not expecting to see you ever again. Not in this lifetime. It's been quite a shock. For so long I had just tried to block out memories that we had growing up.
I can imagine it was not easy for you.
Nor you in this place. All this time I thought at least you were at peace, but I was wrong. Just glad I can do something about it now.
He sort of... His attention was on you before, but now he's very much focused on you. And he sort of looks at you and says, actually it was my memories of you that held me together. Others here, this place, it changes them. They forget who they are. They lose their memories, they become shells, they become what you and I, when we were younger, would have known as ghosts. Self-loathing spectres that exist only to plague the living. But I fought that. I fought that in the knowledge that, well, that you were out there, somewhere, still.
It's ironic that memories of you drove me forward, but I never whenever I thought of you, it was overwhelming. It's nice to see you again and to have some closure on that.
Even if it is in this place?
I would never wish for you to have been here. And I regret that I wasted so much time when this could have ended for you so much longer ago.
There was no way for you to have known.
I suppose. Guys, how do I flirt?
Have you tried being honest?
What? Honest?
It's when you
Arya?
don't lie
Being honest?
about her feelings.
It's called a confession for a reason.
Shit.
It might be ash instead of cherry blossoms, but...
Wow.
Damn.
Indeed.
Give me an insight check.
Struggle. Oh, snap.
Ah.
Good insight check.
You're thinking about... like, you're turning over so many ideas in your mind that you just don't know what to say, and you look up at Alwyn. And, like, you lock eyes with him, and just for a moment... there's so much more behind the blue horizon than just him looking at you. Like, that moment where you're both looking at each other, nothing else matters.
Oh my god. Is it possible? Okay. Can I kiss him? Is that...
You can try.
Yeah!
Okay.
I was sitting here and I was like, shit. Arya's not really good with words, so...
Actions speak louder than words.
Yep. Can I please attempt to kiss him?
Yes, you can. You catch him completely off his guard. And as your lips connect, it's not what you expected. But even through the fact that neither of you can really touch each other, you do feel something. Something that transcends the bonds of material and ethereal.
Guys, our love transcends the world. Shit.
Can't fucking believe.
And as you break away from it, he looks at you and just sort of says, I didn't think... I never knew.
I don't think I did either when we were that age. But time has put a lot of things into perspective. And I couldn't let you go again a second time without or showing you. I didn't actually say anything.
Yeah.
Luka blows.
I'm so sorry.
He looks for the longest moment like he wants to say something. And then just kisses you back.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Again,
Nailed it.
there's it's not a physical thing, but the intent is there.
Right. I guess after we like pull back, I just say, I know that we can never be anything else. But your memory will always be in my heart, no matter where I go or what I do. I won't forget about you.
He smiles and says, "Or are you?" And then he looks out across the desolate grey landscape and says, "Whatever awaits me beyond all of this, I will be counting the days until I see you again."
Can I like take his hand?
Yeah.
And say the same. I feel the same way. I believe that one day we will see each other again. No matter how long.
Just leans into you.
Cries.
Is that all?
God, I kind of want to say it, but I'm also like, fuck. It's only gonna make this harder. Fuck it. The last time I'm gonna see him, I just whisper, "I love you." Just like lean into him too.
He wraps one arm around you, and again, sort of tries to hold you as tightly as he can, and says, "I love you too. Always have done." Okay, so I rolled to see how effective that would be.
It's a natural one.
On 1d100, it was 99.
Oh my god!
So I think you can have the -1 despair.
Holy shit.
Hooray!
Holy shit.
Our love is so strong.
So powerful.
It is a first love. It is a pure love.
I
Aw,
can't believe.
the love that transcends life and death.
Quite literally.
Quite
We've had 2
literally.
of those now.
God.
No.
And Luka was just like, "Oh, but it's so tragic."
It is
Now
tragic.
you know!
It's still tragic!
No.
It's not
No,
tragic.
it's- It's not tragic in the same way, but it's still fucking tragic.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
a
like the
different
only
type
time
of
we're gonna
tragic.
see him. And Lasadas is like, "Lol."
Wow.
What?
Somehow I don't think the Sartis is that heartless.
No, I mean she doesn't say that to Arya, but know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's
We can still all be offended.
So,
No.
you sit side by side. You would wait for the sun to rise, but it's the Shadowfell, it never does. So you sit side by side until the embers of the fire are long burnt out, and eventually your companions awaken. Well, some of them awaken, some of them meditate.
Oh,
Those of you
yeah.
who awaken, awaken.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone has had a
Hopefully
long
no one-
rest.
Hopefully no
I
one was
think
like fucking
literally
keep
half
dropping.
the party just were technically awake for that. They just probably weren't
Yeah.
there.
Oops.
Well, half of them were in... Well, one of them was in Leomund's tiny hut, so couldn't really hear anything that was going on outside anyway.
And two of them were probably otherwise
And
engaged.
two of them were having their own romantic moments.
Wow.
Look, there was probably a lot of head patting and shushing. She's had a hard day.
Yeah.
Aw.
Armor time.
Forehead kisses.
Yes.
Don't forget
Best
the forehead kisses.
Yes.
Do you want one of those before you go?
Yes, please.
Oh my god. Luka was straight in there.
Yeah.
I don't think there was even a gap between the talking there.
Yeah.
Just go before you go, yes please.
Yeah, that's basically the last thing that happens before your companions begin to stir. Like, you're roused from your state of restfulness by a soft press on the top of your head.
Oh. Isn't it great that he's gonna actually die of forever? It's not happy, it's fucking tragic shit.
It can be happy as well.
Not really in this case, but
Yeah.
Oh. At least you got to see him at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Now you're inspired.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that he gets to his eternal rest now.
That you might one day join him.
Yeah.
Because either way, you're fucking joining him.
Either way, yeah.
Either way, you're gonna see
One
him
way
again,
or
so
the
it's
other.
all good.
Uh,
It's all fine in the end.
well, the Spatus wouldn't be happy if she died
No.
here.
no.
Be like, I have a husband and a son.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because
One of whom is still alive.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the rest of us would be fucking thrilled if we died here.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
But yeah, we should start packing our bags,
Yes.
make our way.
You pack up your things and prepare to leave. Who wants to insight check Arya?
Let's
Me,
all
I
do
have
it.
advantage.
All of us.
Make it
Yeah.
Oh,
impossible
yeah.
to hide.
B has advantage.
Oh god.
Oh,
Boom!
Okay.
it's not great. Oh, that's also not great.
Kelariis literally does not care. Kelariis is just like, right,
Yeah.
gotta pack that tent up, let's go, chop chop.
Ferrous is just straight to work.
Vondal, you probably come out and like sort of catch them breaking up this embrace as they're sort of like both standing up, and you're just like, there's a moment where you just look at Arya and it's just like, yeah, I see you.
I saw that.
And V, yes, there is definitely something different about Arya this morning. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but you'd say for the first time in forever, she's actually happy.
Oh my god.
Too bad that's gonna be ripped apart in about 30 seconds.
Can I guess Vondal sort of smiles when he sees that. Because like, holy shit.
Okay.
I smile at thee.
I'm just glad I got one of the spare point taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah, being on 3 right at the start was not a good start.
No.
Oh.
Not fantastic.
we go.
Hmm.
Now for the real challenge.
Right. Yeah. You get ready to set off.
Yeah, I was like, before we leave, I want to say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Also, Vondal, can you actually prep that light spell?
I have prepped it.
Okay, good.
I had already prepped it. Prepped
Cool.
it when we came in here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Vondal.
Right. So yeah, after probably an hour or so of packing and preparing, you surmise that you are probably ready to leave.
Okay.
This is the part where you go, guys, I need a moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, can I have a brief moment alone with Alwyn?
You've had a whole night.
Shut up. It's not enough.
Alright.
Okay.
We'll just keep packing up our stuff.
Yeah. You guys are just sort of like standing around, like backpacks on, like ready to go.
I mean, I guess you can like start like moving out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll just like stay behind.
Vondal was just
Don't split up the party!
Except you're the person who needs to be leading the group.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that too.
Although actually, technically, you do have two other rangers who could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who also got directions.
Yes.
I guess Vondal will say, we'll walk slowly.
yeah, just like walk a few paces ahead or something. Jeez.
We'll walk slowly.
Give me like 5 seconds to say goodbye to the love of my life.
Okay.
Before I go and kill the thing that killed him so he can find his eternal resting place.
Hey, you played into this. Do not blame me.
I did play into this, and I love every second of it. Even as I cry.
So, your companions travel on ahead for a short time before you turn.
Okay. I guess I turn Alan and like take both of his hands in mine.
Yeah.
And then I just say, even though it was under the most terrible of circumstances, I'm glad that we finally got a chance to talk about everything. As I said before, I will never forget what you meant to me, what you mean to me, and I will carry the lessons that you taught me in my heart.
He smiles and says, "That is reassuring to hear. And remember your promise. Once all this is done, live."
I will do my best. I will do my best to honor the promise that I made.
And that is all I can ask of you. He leans in to take one last kiss.
Yes. I was gonna do that if he wasn't going to. And I guess as we part, I say, this is goodbye. For now.
For now.
I don't want to walk away. But I got it.
Yeah.
Does Vondal have to make it awkward?
Please don't make it
Don't
awkward.
do it.
Guess I slowly drop his hands and walk away.
Okay.
Stealing glances over my shoulder as I go.
He does not break looking at you.
Ah!
He watches you leave. Every step of the way.
Wow. I was gonna say, if that took a while, I was totally ready to just be like, come on then, lovebirds. We don't have forever. Just kill them.
And you're gonna kill me for saying it, but hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave.
Ah! He wants that Arya ass.
Wow.
Trend continues, apparently.
Apparently. Like, beauty is a thing that is universally understood.
Eventually you get far enough away that you can no longer see him. You catch up with your friends.
Yeah, I don't really say anything. I mean, pretty subdued. Just kind of.
Are you covering up how you're feeling at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
Give
Like,
me a
pretty plain
deception
that I'm
check
upset. Okay.
to see how well you can hide your feelings.
It's gonna fail. Oh no, that's pretty good.
You do a pretty good job of it. Like you're kind of visibly sort of shaken, but unless anyone checks further, they don't read anything more into it.
Well, I think once Arya rejoins us, Vondal is just going to, not necessarily check things, but just going to start a bit of a conversation to say, feeling better this morning?
Yes, I suppose in a way.
It's good to hear.
So, if that's all the conversation you have, you travel onwards. Can you, please, because you are in unfamiliar terrain, give me a survival check? With advantage. No, sorry, just Arya. And Ilaran is going to attempt to assist you. Oh, okay. Okay. Navigating this terrain is difficult. Were it not for your senses honed over years, you would lose yourself in the endless samey grey dustscape that is this plane. Fortunately, between the two of you, both you and Ilaran are capable of sort of noting all of the vague details in the landscape that you can see. Occasionally, Ilaran marks a tree with one of his axes to ensure that you're not doubling back on yourselves. And eventually, you find yourself heading down a winding mountain path that, after a short while, leads into a huge drop into a canyon on your left-hand side.
That's reassuring.
You travel for what you suspect is most of the day, before finding yourself rapidly running out of space to traverse.
Oh boy.
Oh, good. That doesn't look ominous at all.
No.
Totally not.
No, that doesn't sound ominous either.
No. Yes. What you see in front of you is fairly representative of what appears in front of you. With the exception that the tattered-looking rope bridge that spans this chasm to the island in the center, the gate on the other side is carved into the shape of a monstrous skull.
Villains.
fantastic.
He's gotta have
This-
that villainous
Can't
side.
find himself in physical form, but you can find the time to fucking have a
This
giant
this
skull
isn't even his castle. This this is but 1/8. That's a Mario reference for everyone out there.
There's the reference that no one knows.
Yep.
Yep.
Take that one.
Cross it off your bingo cards, ladies and gentlemen.
1/8 is the first castle in World 1. 8/8 is where you fight Bowser.
Oh yeah, well done.
Oh, okay, well.
But yes. What do you do?
Guess we're just moving into single file.
You can. I think you can. I think it's thick enough that you can walk two abreast, but that's about it. Leaves very little room, sort of at the edge.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to be better safe than sorry, honestly.
Yeah. It's like, for
Yeah, let's do
safety.
single file.
Give me perception checks as you walk around this cliff face.
Oh shit!
You're
First fucking good roll of the day.
Right.
Are also been getting progressively worse.
Vondal and Kelariis, as well as Simone and Ilaran. You all pause briefly as you look out over the precipice towards the castle and notice in the distance several figures patrolling the cliff space outside the skull gate that seems to lead into the fort. It is very difficult to tell at this distance, but Arya, your honed vision, identifies them. You're pretty sure they are skeletons.
Fun.
And as you listen, actually even Kelariis, you hear this. A mournful, piercing wail seems to be being carried on the wind down this canyon towards you.
Well, that's ominous.
Mm.
It is.
Should we
How many of them are there? Oh, sorry.
You can see 4 figures.
Okay. And how far away from us are they?
At the moment, a long way.
Oh, okay.
The picture, actually, probably the adventuring party you can see in the picture. That's probably quite representative of where you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you are still maybe an hour's walk away from the bridge. It is only through elven sight that you can see the figures, and yeah, they're basically like tiny ants moving in the distance.
Come on, Arya. It's time for the sniper shot of the century.
I don't.
Even
I
at
don't
max
know.
range, you could not make that.
Yeah.
could if you were a little closer, but
Yeah, I guess I like alert the others to the presence of these dudes.
yeah,
Some rude dudes.
yeah.
Some rude dudes on a bridge.
Dude.
Yeah, Illaran and Simone hunker down, sort of in ranger style, and observe for a few moments. Lysatus stops and crouches, sort of like squats on her haunches, and seems to not quite meditate, but she like closes her eyes and sort of is humming softly to herself. Like as she sort of listens to what you guys are saying. And Zale just sort of like sits there, or probably stands there actually, nervously sort of like adjusting the straps of his backpack. What do you say?
Maybe we should get a bit closer and attempt to snipe them off the bridge. Is that a term that they know?
They're not on the bridge. They're sort of if I could probably actually ping. There's a small rocky outcropping on the like just around the entrance to the skull mouth, and they're basically on that.
So they're on the other side of the bridge.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, so going across that bridge, we'd be sitting targets,
Yes.
which would be bad shit.
TM.
Indeed.
But yes, you could suggest to them that you could try and pick them off when you get to the other side. It would. The bridge span is huge. You would be. Even you would be working at long range, Arya, at your targets.
Alright.
The others would struggle to aim or do anything at that distance. Why is that not on the map there?
What is aiming?
Amy?
I have spells.
True.
You still have to
That
aim
bridge.
your spells.
Not really. Not that much.
But also, right, what, max range spell is what, 120 feet? Is that bridge 120 feet long?
Give me an investigation, I guess. In your estimation, you expect that the bridge probably spans about 140 feet.
So yeah, nothing I have can reach across the full length of the bridge.
I have stuff that can reach 150.
Yeah, same.
Well, you can go up to 300, are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
At disadvantage, though.
At disadvantage, yes, but...
Also, I really need to move my laptop.
Okay, yeah, well, we can take a break in a moment once you've decided your battle strategy.
Mm.
Both Lysatus and Zale mentioned that they are both very much close-range combatants, and they are not sure... Like, if you were to pick them for the task, then they would very much be running across the bridge into a hail of arrows, more than likely.
Yeah.
They're not sure how much use they would be to you.
I feel the best course of action is to have the majority of us sort of hide as best we can, whilst maybe not super far away. We also have to close in, but hiding behind the rock face while our rangers attempt to pick them off as best they can.
Yeah, that's probably our best bet.
I also don't know how much actual fighting we want to do on the bridge itself. If we can.
Yeah,
avoid
I
it.
would be very wary of fighting on that.
I will tell you how much fighting we want to do on the bridge. None.
fight.
We want to pick them off while none of us are on the bridge, and we want to run across as fast as we can before anything tries to stop us.
I can help with at least one person running.
Oh, right. Get that dash on.
The other thing to point out is, if any of you were to fall,
We'd
it
be
is
dead.
a long way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although that in and of itself presents an interesting possible strategy. Although a much more risky one.
What? Trying to get it fall off the bridge?
No. No, I was talking more about V's ability.
Oh, like hasting
Given-
someone?
Yeah.
No, Featherfall.
Oh, Featherfall.
I was thinking
Oh.
of haste.
Oh, okay.
How many people?
I thought you were.
can
I thought you were
fall?
saying that if someone fell, I could help.
Well, yeah, Featherfall would work, but they would be falling for several rounds, so you'd have to make sure that you cast it while you were in range, and then maintain the concentration as they fell.
It's not concentration.
Oh, it's not concentration. Okay,
Sweet.
no problem then.
So I was gonna say
Just be in 60 feet of me when you're falling.
yeah.
We'll try.
Lysatus
think-
does mention she does have a trick up her sleeve, should it come to it. Being a druid, being a archdruid, she can take a flying shape, but she is incredibly vulnerable while she does it.
Ah, right. Oh, right, because she used it off.
Because she is not a Circle of the Moon druid,
Yeah.
so she is only a CR1 creature.
Yeah. I believe the two courses of action I see. One is incredibly cautious. The other is incredibly reckless.
Well, let's be cautious.
The cautious option is the rangers attempting to
Okay.
pick it off.
Yeah.
The more reckless option would be attempting to haste one of us across the bridge before the skeletons can react and
could
taking
do-
them out.
So-
thereby ensuring a
We could
safe
do both at the
passage.
same time, surely.
For GM benefit, who are you considering taking on this mission?
Me. I'm.
Well, obviously it's going to be all four of you.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, Illiran and Simone can provide cover fire.
They both have
I
longbows,
think
yes.
Zayla's the only one who is definitely out. Because he admits that he's close range and we have no way to cover for him.
It's like we still need everyone to somewhat come with us because we need everyone to be able to get across the bridge in the time that we can provide once the
Yeah.
skeletons are down.
But we confront the skeletons first, and when that's dealt with,
Yeah.
we signal that it's safe to come over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I say that we both have range. That we do both strategies at the same time. We have rangers sat at the back, while me and Vondal buff Kelariis, so she can run across, while also being harder to hit.
Yes.
So she'll, like, charge in like a fucking bull.
A reminder as well that
Correct.
I believe, Vondal, you have access to spells that may be useful for traversing the decaying and broken bridge, things like Aid, that allow bonuses to skill checks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Hang on. Because I'm just wondering, because obviously I want to cast a few things.
Mm.
Are you decided on who you want to take? Because you can discuss this in the break while Helena moves.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So, you're leaving Zale on the other side waiting for you.
We should
What about Lysatus?
probably-
Maybe have
Uh,
Lysatus stay back as well, just
Yeah.
so that Zale isn't alone.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. So, Illiran and Simone are the only people you're taking. Aside from
Although I suppose
yourselves.
I'm not necessarily going to be running across the bridge initially.
No, but your support is useful.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to sit out the entire fight, because that would be boring. Okay. With that decided, you put your plan into action. And we will take a break.